A happy Sunday morning to all. On behalf of the Hindu, I extend a warm welcome to our panelists and audience to this fourth episode of the webinar series on biotechnology, role in industry 5.0, sustainable future pathways. This initiative has been jointly launched by the Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai, and the Hindu to focus on biotechnology's increasing influence in various sectors, including agriculture, food, healthcare, and research-driven innovation. In today's episode, we will discuss biotech careers in food and nutrition. And over the next hour, our distinguished panelists will touch upon advancements in food processing from sourcing to packaging and storage, nutrition science and safety in production and quality control, biosecurity measures and safety norms, and how biotech is driving sustainability. Biotechnology can and is enhancing the quality of food in addition to improving the quantity of food. Biotechnology can also improve the sustainability of production systems by requiring fewer inputs to control pests and also better protect us with the quality of water and the landmass that surrounds us. I will start the introductions with Dr. G. Jayaraman, Professor and Dean, School of Biosciences and Technology at the Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. An academician with more than 2 decades of experience in biotechnology education, research, and academic administration, his work spans structural biology, microbial systems, and bioinformatics with a strong focus on translating scientific research into meaningful academic and societal outcomes. Dr. Jayaraman has guided numerous doctoral master students and contributed extensively to peer review research. He has played a key role in shaping biotech programs in VIT during his 21 years of association with the institution. With an MSc in chemistry from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, he did his PhD in structural biology and chemistry from National Tsinghua University, Taiwan. With life membership in multiple professional bodies, Dr. Jayaraman has also been involved in NHRI and DST sponsored projects. He will introduce today's theme and set the tone for the discussion on how biotechnology education and research are aligning with the 5.0 landscape in the field of food and nutrition. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and over to you for your presentation.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and it's my pleasure to have a warm welcome to all the participants, especially the prospective students as well as their parents. As said previously, I would like to set the tone for today's webinar, which is completely on the food and nutrition. So let me tell you that we are not just focusing on human nutrition, but also on animal nutrition, especially the livestock. So there are various food industries associated, and the list is given over here. We talk about grain-based pulses, soil seeds, fruits, vegetables, cereals, milk products, meat, fisheries, and plantation-based. So there are enormous scope in the food industry sector, especially in the processing. So whenever we talk about processing of the foods, the first thing that comes into our mind is the food safety. So is the food safe to be consumed, especially when we talk about processed foods? Because processed foods are, again, looked in a different way because of the ill health that it can provide. But then when these processed foods are taken with the safety measures, definitely it is a good platform for us. And the efficiency of food preparation also has to be taken care of. The contaminations that are in place when we talk about the food preparation should be controlled. And the shelf life, the most important aspect during the processing of foods is the shelf life. How long can the food be saved, right? The stored, and without compromising on the taste, without compromising on the nutrients that it can give. So we talk about, whenever we talk about such kind of food processing, the first thing that we would like to have is whether the nutrients that are present in the food material, especially the processed food, is up to the mark or not. So for that, we have various analytical techniques right? Especially the high-end techniques like mass spectrometry as well as NMR, which can be used for assessing the food quality, the amount of nutrients, the kind of nutrients that it can have. So during processes, whether there is a change in food quality. So it is completely reflected on the components that the processed food contains. So everyone, the biotechnologist and the students who would like to go in this direction should have a complete control and complete knowledge about the use of these high-end techniques as well. On one side, we talk about the food processing, but then we also talk about during the processing of foods that are leftovers and the residues. So we talk about the organic crop residues, which can be used for animal feed, the catering waste, which can be used for biofuel production. So the complete process, we look at in a holistic manner as to how the food processing, not only the food that we can take or the animal husbandry or the livestock can take, but also the leftovers, how it can be converted into useful materials. So we are talking about zero waste, and therefore, and of course all these food materials are if they are not with any other chemicals, definitely they are biodegradable, but then whether it can be converted into useful materials or not, that is the biggest question, and there biotechnology can have its intervention. So the key elements related to food processing here, I would like to state that because this food processing is a multidisciplinary in nature. It's not just the biotechnology. You talk about the use of artificial intelligence, IoT, and then supply chain management, robotics, big data analytics, right? So all these come into picture, and therefore we would like the students to have some knowledge about all these if they have to go into the industry related to food processing. So the five biggest challenges, of course, there are a few challenges which the food industry faces, especially with respect to the food safety. All right. See, when we talk about medicine, we talk about personalized medicine. Here we talk about whether we can have a personalized food concept because the digestibility of the food of every individual, right? Even if we talk in terms of the human food, it is going to be slightly different, right? The digestive system is going to be different, and we talk about allergens being present, right, in some of the food products. Some people are allergic to a particular food, right? So all these could be controlled, has to be assessed when a food is being processed. And of course, the most important thing, like I was talking some time back, is about the shelf life of the food and the reduction in the microbial stability. If there are useful bacteria, because during food processing, you also do a fermentation technique where you have useful bacteria. That is good, but then you cannot have a pathogens in grooming into the food that is being processed. So if you look into the world market in 2024 to 2023, we see that there is an increase of 8.8% in terms of the CAGR, the growth rate we are talking about. So what is that the biotechnology can give? In addition to the mechanical processing that is in place, thermal processing, chemical processing, enzymatic processing is the one in which the biotechnology can step in. Production of enzymes for different industries. I have given a few examples over here: confectionery, packaging, animal feed, oil refinery, dairy, and so on and so forth. So biotechnology can involve in the production of these enzymes, right? And therefore, we can look at the biotechnological intervention with respect to the food processing, packaging, enhancing nutrition, and preservation of the processed food. And in this process, we adopt the gene editing techniques, synthetic biology, nanobiotechnology for the development of functional foods, biodegradable packaging materials, right, and alternate protein sources. And this contributes to enhancing food production and reduce food waste and improve sensory properties as well. A small introduction about the feed, because we have been normally focusing on the human food, but in the feed, this feed is for the domestic livestock, and we would like to ensure that these livestock have necessary nutrients, energy, vitamins. So if we ask a question whether the different livestock require different feed, yes, the basic question is yes, it's logical because it is based on the digestive system, nutritional needs, age, life stage, as well as the production purpose. And of course, we need to adopt ethical practices during the processing. If you look into the CAGR of the animal feed market, it is about 3.2%. It's slightly lesser than the general human food, but then there is increase in the growth requirement as well. And what biotechnology can give, it can talk about the enzymes, it can talk about the production of the antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, right? Enhanced meat quality, immunity improvisation, gut health. Gut health is one of the most important aspect in any of the any of the processes, right? So the digestibility or the extraction of the nutrients. One small example I'll give towards the end is the use of a specific bacterium which is called as the Lactobacillus plantarum in poultry industries, which improves the gut structure, boosts the immune response, and then boosts digestive enzyme activity, which enhances or regulates the body weight, the egg production and the qualities, and also the meat quality. So this is one example where the biotechnological intervention can take place. So what is the role of VIT in shaping in this direction? We have the courses related to food biotechnology and related areas, and if a student can would like to have a specialization in this area, yes, he can accumulate or take the courses related to that, because we follow what is called as the fully flexible credit system, where you have an absolute flexibility in choosing your subjects of interest apart from the core. So project based learning, where we have a hands-on experience on the different techniques which are used in the food industry, and then research internships, industrial internships, ideathons, hackathons, semester abroad program, because it is not just within the four walls of the campus. The students have a chance to go outside India as well, so that they can gain much more experience, get exposed to the recent technologies that are available in this direction as well, and collaboratively with foreign universities and industries. So finally, I would like to conclude by saying that let us work together for innovative strategies, development of innovative strategies in food processing and feed formulation. And the unique selling proposition of SBST at Chennai campus is specialization with purpose for industry ready purpose. So wishing you all the best. Would like to see you on campus during the next academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jayaraman, for those valuable pointers. We move on to our next speaker, Dr. Chakravarti Saravanan, Associate Professor at the National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management in Kundli, Haryana. Before joining the institute in 2012, he was a postdoctoral researcher at CNC University of Coimbra, Portugal. He worked as a scientist leading the bioinformatics team in Vittal Malya Scientific Research Foundation, Bengaluru. Dr. Chakravarti did his PhD in biotechnology from VIT Vellore and preceded by his BSc and MSc degrees in biochemistry from Madurai Kamraj University. A recipient of multiple fellowships and scholarships, awards, and honors, Dr. Chakravarti obtained a patent in 2025 along with two other team members for ready to cook palm leaf wrapped rice flour dumplings. He has also worked on multiple research projects, and the currently ongoing one is on culture dependent fermented flaxseed lignan in obesity and diabetes management through immunomodulation. With a strong background in creating insightful research papers, he mentors students, helping them with learning processes and better exposure. A member of professional bodies, he has scores of papers published and guides PhD students. He will now talk on food biotechnology, challenges and opportunities. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning to one and all present over here, participants, the panelists. First of all, I would like to thank VIT Chennai as well as the Hindu group joining together to take this initiative. Today, I'm going to discuss something related to the food biotechnology. What are the challenges and what are the opportunities that you have? So, according to the United Nations Organization, freedom from the hunger is the fundamental human rights. But actually, even though it has been said long back that we have actually food is deprived in terms of the hunger and remains widespread in India. This is the article which have been come 2023. It doesn't mean that actually we don't have the enough food. But the hunger, it also means that actually if we are not having an adequate essential nutrient, so that also indicates that actually we are actually deprived of actually uh, we don't have actually fulfill our food correctly. So apart from this, actually, we all know that when that actually the land is actually shrinking, meaning that we are occupying all the agricultural land into actually the constructions. So due to that, actually, you might have seen that actually the staple food actually what is required. So for that also the prices are actually hiking very every year actually, rather every month or every week actually it is getting hiked up actually. So can the food biotechnology can give any solution for that actually, or can the food biotechnology actually give you the safe and secured food through and when we are going for the processing? Yes, it do some extent. Like for example, there are certain new genetic engineering technology like CRISPR-Cas is a technology which is used for precise gene editing. So due to this precise gene editing process, that we manage to produce some plants which is going to have a higher nutrient, higher stress tolerant, higher actually disease resistant. So such kind of actually plants can be produced, and due to that reason, suppose if we are going to manage to produce a plant which can, instead of using the soil microbes, if it is going to fix the nitrogen, leguminous plant, it is going to fix the nitrogen from the air by its own, which is an ongoing process actually. It managed to produce actually a lot of proteinaceous food actually in the leguminaceous plant. Here in this one that you could see that when the if the plant managed to fix it up actually the nutrient or minerals it is required for the plants, it not only boost up the plant, but when we are going to consume such kind of plant or the plant based product, so we will also get so many health benefits which the normal wilder type may not be given actually. Similarly, as touched up by Professor Jayaraman in his talk, actually there are 3D footprinting, which is an ongoing things for the precision nutrition or personalized nutrition to be given for them. So everyone, which we know that when everyone have an individual have a separate RDA, kids will have a different RDA, human beings, adults will have a different RDA. So every, as I said also that everyone's gut is also going to be different. So accordingly, the food can also be designed and it can also be given. So some of the food, like for example, geriatric food and all, that it is specifically made for actually one for the elders. So that can be made through this kind of technology, which is called the 3D footprinting. So similarly, we have also done some of the experiments in our lab. We are trying to produce or we are trying to enhance the shelf life of an oil by means of actually producing some kind of actually nano droplets or water in oil nano emulsions, and we try to put it into the oil like your soybean oil, which have been added with an eggplant peel extract with the emulsifiers, and we managed to find it out actually enhancing the oxidative stability of your oil comparing to the tough actually other oil which is added with your actually artificial preservatives. Like for example, TBHU is an artificial preservatives. Instead of using this kind of artificial TBHU, we can move on for the natural preservatives, which can be done through the biotechnology. Similarly, if a food is going to be adulterated, for example, red meat is adulterated with the other white meat and all, there are technologies which have been developed which can identify whether any meat can be adulterated with the different kind of the meat. So that can be also identified using this multiplex PCR coupled with the nucleic acid lateral flow strips. So this technique has been developed and which can be used for identifying the adulteration for the food safety purpose. Similarly, we all know that when for producing a single meat or a livestock, actually, how much feed is required for that feed, how much actually we have to spend the water, energy, and everything. So for that reason, that actually cultured meat are actually developed in nowadays. So for which they are taking the live cells or stems like the stem cells from the particular live organism. They are just going for the actually cell line optimization and then go for the bioreactor and all. then they produce the desired meat of the interest. So these 4 steps are essential for producing this kind of cultured meat. So, what are the skills need to be acquired for going to this kind of research or industry-oriented research? A student have to be exposed himself or herself to into the genetic engineering, molecular biology, different kind of analytical techniques, as well as the different cultural techniques and fermentation like techniques and all, which these kind of skill sets are definitely going to be helpful for the students. I hope that VIT Vellore is going to provide such kind of actually facilities for our upcoming students and all. So what are the opportunities, Rick? So once you are actually finish off your finish off your biotechnology, and then you may have an interest into the food. You can become a food technologist. You can become a food biotechnologist. You can become a quality assurance officer, research associate. If you are interested in research, you can go into that line. You can also become a product development executive, and you can also become a food safety officer. Many more opportunities are there if we are going for taking up biotechnology and focusing towards the food. You have a bright future towards it. So with this one, I thank you all for hearing my talk. Uh,
Thank
that's it from
you. Thank you, Dr. Chakravarti, for that interesting presentation. And audience, you've already heard 2 speakers, and I request you to start posting your questions in the Q&A box. Our panelists will answer your question towards the end of the webinar. Our third speaker is Mr. R. Balaguru, Technical Director, VK Palappa Nadar Poultry Farms Private Limited, and he's also a VIT alumnus. With the BTech degree in biotechnology from VIT Vellore and an MBA from MEPCO Schlenk Engineering College, Mr. Balaguru leverages his 2 decades of industrial experience in biotechnology, applied microbiology, poultry science, and green chemistry to foster practical research-driven education. With a proven track record in leading R&D, optimizing complex chemical processes, and bridging the gap between the industry and the academia, Mr. Balaguru mentors students and contributes to university research goals by developing applied science projects, which also include screening for bioactive compounds in medicinal plants and isolating osmotolerant yeast from jaggery. His presentation is going to be on role of biotechnology graduates in livestock industry. Welcome, Mr. Balaguru.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your introduction. So I'll be yes. I'd like to thank VIT Chennai and Hindu Group for providing me an opportunity to share some of my experience. I'll be talking about today the role of biotechnology graduates in livestock industry. So I'm basically from biotechnology background. I'm working as a farmer. So I will share some of my experience. What are the skills required for biotechnology graduates to have a successful career in livestock industry. So today I will be talking about what is the livestock industry is all about, and what are the key biotechnology areas where biotechnology is required, and functional areas where biotechnology tools are used in our industry, and disease diagnosis from to waste management. I'll be talking on these lines. And this is all about the livestock industry, Indian livestock industry. It is providing almost 70% of employment for rural people. They are rural workforce of entire global scenario, and this is the value. It's contributing 9.17 lakh crore for our Indian economy, and it is contributing close to 5% of our GDP and 20% of our GDP. And we are the third largest egg manufacturers in around in the global level, and world's largest milk producer. And these are the that is how it is contributing to the economy in a very manner. So from biotechnology perspective, these are the biotechnology is nothing but using biological systems for betterment of human life. So these are the areas where biotechnology tools are used. From crop development, there's a green biotechnology. From agriculture, breeding science. For aquaculture, is blue biotechnology. For vaccine development and medicinal and pharmaceutical, it's again red biotechnology. These are the other areas in biotechnology side. And this is how these are some of the applications of biotechnology tools in livestock industry. Starting from animal breeding and genetic improvement. There's nothing to do with any developing a new breed or new variety. So biotechnology tools are continuously used in industry to have a better offspring using selective breeding techniques. And for disease prevention and high yield varieties, to develop a high yield variety, continuous genetic improvement is done for the last 6 decades. And these are the achievements of our country. A lot of indigenous breeds are developed, and it is going on continuously. So these are the steps involved in the process. Identifying the proper good quality animals, and doing the sampling and genotyping, and doing the selective breeding technique, using selective breeding techniques. So there's a misconception, in genetic engineering and with respect to animal breeding. In this area, only genetic improvement is done, not altering the entire genetic nature of the animal. The ultimate aim is to improve the feed conversion ratio. So suppose if a farmer is consuming, if he is using 120 grams of poultry feed to produce one egg, if the breed is improved, the feed consumption can be reduced. So the farmer is ultimately making some kind of a profit. So this is nothing to do with some alteration of genes and all. It is just for a genetic improvement. So this is the core area where I am working. So this is a biotechnology side. A lot of prebiotics and probiotics are used in the animal feed because antibiotics are not permitted in food, right? So most of the countries, European country and unions and export-based markets, antibiotics are not allowed for the feed as a feed supplement. So only we have a option is we have to use good quality probiotics, live bacteria to avoid microbial contamination within the gut. So it is extensive use, and it's mainly for improved gut health and better improvement. And most of the cases, lactobacillus and yeast are used very abundantly in for poultry as well as dairy industry. And again, enzymes is already shared by Dr. Jaraman. So we have different enzymes in poultry and in livestock industry. First and foremost is phytase is most important because phosphorus is the one of the luxurious material. I would say luxurious material in the animal feed. So we cannot convert. You cannot use phosphorus, in the form of dicalcium phosphate in a regular basis. Again, the feed cost will go up. So we have to convert phytic acid from the plant material to available form of phosphorus using phytase enzyme, and we have to use non-starch polysaccharide enzymes like xylanase and cellulase to break down the fiber to get more energy out of those complex carbohydrates, and we have to improve the protein digestibility of the existing feed material. So the undigested protein will be wasted it will create ammonia issue, it will create pollution issue. So whatever the protein which is available in the animal feed, it should get digested properly in the gut using protease enzyme. Then only the undigested protein will not be create any harmful effects. So amylase is again used in poultry industry for digestion. And the purpose of using enzymes in animal feed is to reduce the feed cost. Because again, as I said, as mentioned by the Dr. Chakravarti also, the land is getting reduced. Agricultural land is are getting reduced. So we have to use alternate or unconventional feed materials to have a better feed conversion. So in for that matter, non-starch polysaccharide enzyme as well as protease enzyme play a major role. Again, other biotechnology feed additives are used. Synthetic material, individual amino acids are used, and vitamins are used, and all these components are playing a major role in improving the feed efficiency and getting more utilizing the genetic potential of the animal for better yields. So these are the tools we can use. And the diagnosis of livestock diseases is highly critical. These are the standard techniques which are followed by the industry. For avian influenza, PCR techniques are widely used for detecting any antigens and antibodies. ELISA is used. And for gene expression studies, a lot of microarray techniques are used. So again, these are the major livestock diseases I have specified. So early detection is highly helpful to improve the biosecurity measures and to avoid the mortality level in the farm level. And also, the disease should not spread to humans. So we should be very careful on the biosecurity measures followed within the farm and outside the farm. So diagnostic, other than the diagnostics, these again functional. All avian influenza is kind of a pandemic risk. It used to have a mortality of 50 to 70% of mortality. Again, those diseases, the early detection is important. If any diseases detected in isolation, and culling of birds is mandatory. And the main idea is to prevent disease transmission to human also. Again, disease diagnosis, all these tools are developed by biotechnology professionals and handled by biotechnology professionals. And again, vaccine development is another area. We have different types of vaccines from 80s to present generation. Now we are in the fourth generation, and vaccines are highly required. Even almost livestock scientists, they are almost in the verge of success in launching a vaccine for all human influenza virus. Again, all bird flu or swine flu virus almost is done. So we are in the again, it will help the industry. And from reproductive side, for these all the techniques which are highly followed in the industry. Again, again, like all life sciences skills are required to understand what is the science behind these concepts. Again, this is the first, most critical part of our industry, waste management, because livestock industry is the major contributor of carbon dioxide emission, other than your traffic or industrial air pollution. So carbon dioxide emission we can manage only through biogas generation. Again, gas shortage is going on everywhere. So livestock waste are not utilized properly so far. Again, from biogas plant we are getting agricultural compost manure also is available from biogas plant, and vermicompost is one area. And biotechnology tools are used, enzymes and other biochemical methods are used to reduce the effluent reduction using biotechnology tools. And again, quality control we need to have for milk testing, meat safety. Again, every certification is important. Food safety certification is important when you're doing exports or even for domestic FSA certificate. All the animal meat should be free from salmonella and E. coli. These are most just common contaminants. So for that, understand you need to have a proper knowledge on microbiology and applied microbiology research. And antibiotic residues can be detected by LCMS techniques. Again, this compliance is required for all domestic as well as international supply. Again, these are the current research areas, research institutes in India, and they are doing all sorts of research. And our Indian government allocated a budget of 4,600 crores for livestock alone, livestock R&D alone. So see the importance of how government is prioritizing this industry. These are the career opportunities for biotechnology graduates. They can enter into dairy industry as an animal scientist or the genetic person and dairy breeder program. And for poultry, they can do feed consultancy. Because enzymes are involved in it, and because their basic understanding about carbohydrate chemistry and protein chemistry play a major role here. So biotechnology graduates usually learn a lot of biochemistry concepts, because their biochemistry concepts will help them to give a role. They can take up a consultant role for feed formulation. Because they have good knowledge on enzymes, and for pharma industry and government regulatory bodies, NABARD and banking sector, government funded agencies, they require biotechnology graduates for approving the projects as well as for subsidies and assessment officers. They need a lot of biotechnology graduates, and research area also, again from academic side as well as industrial product development. A lot of potential is available. And again, startup, if you want to have a own startup, then a lot of opportunities are available. This is the current salary package scenario for biotechnology graduates with respect to livestock industry. For a basic undergraduate, the pay scale will be in the 3 to 5 lakh category. And if you are a senior researcher, the pay scale will be changed accordingly. And if you are an entrepreneur or a livestock farmer, it will be the higher side. So again, a lot of fellowship programs are available. And after the post graduation, after PhD, a lot of positions are available in government labs as well as private university lab agency also. So these are some of the career opportunities. And entrepreneurship is again a critical area in livestock industry, because once you understand, since the biotechnology is a multidisciplinary course, you can get into a diagnostic kit company, or you can do a probiotic feed business, because in probiotic a lot of strains are available. The investment is very minimal, and you can do a customized product. A lot of opportunities are available, and if you are working on artificial intelligence platform, lot of monitoring apps, health monitoring apps with a live camera to understanding the animal behavior. A lot of opportunities are there. And biogas plant, again consultancy and construction, again a lot of opportunities are there. And vaccination distribution, like cold chain network itself, is a good opportunity. Some of my colleagues and some of my friends are working on these lines with respect to livestock industry. The entrepreneurship opportunities in from biotechnology sector, and the specific skills what we require for a number, career in livestock industry. All wet lab analysis I have listed out. So all the vision blood techniques and gene expression studies and the cloning techniques from basically from microbiology and genetic engineering background, as said by Dr. Chakravarti. And our soft skills, because since you are doing presentation, and if you want to have a convince the investor for our entrepreneurial venture, then you need to have some soft skills as well as leadership role also you have to develop. And these are some of the challenges from the industry. Like some of the techniques are very high cost in technology, so you need to have a proper certain set of skill sets, and again ethical concerns. Genetically modification is different from genetic improvement. That there are two difference. Cloning and creating a new creature is different area, that different subject. So what in our industry, in livestock industry, we are working on genetic improvement and breed improvement, nothing else. So ethical concerns is also important. We cannot play around with editing the gene. It's different. And biosecurity measures, understanding biosecurity, the importance, because human lives also involved. So biosecurity committees approval is required, and pathogen control is again required. A lot of compliances are required. And if it is a food product, food safety standards also come into picture. So a lot of things and regulatory mechanism for if you want to go for approval for food safety standards, then you have to go through a lot of regulations, and understanding the constraints within the food. You have to be the time length I mentioned. No, for regulatory approval itself, it will go for 3 to 7 years time. If it is a new product, and if it is a potential, and these are the regulatory hurdles. And educating the farmers is most critical. Uh, Educate only through educating the farmers, you can have a better products, right? And intellectual property rights is common for all the industries. And the prospect future product, like now the industry is working on precision farming, identifying using IoT sensors, and using gene expression techniques. They are identifying nutritional deficiencies. Based on them, supplements are given and performance are improved. The precision livestock farming is almost in the practice now. It is going well, and it a lot of IoT and lot of potential opportunities are available for students and new graduates. And genomic editing is again is going on. Scientists are almost trying to avoid all major diseases from the industry to safeguard the farmers. So this is again is going on a positive note. And cultured meat, again due to lack of resources, water and land are limited. So culture meat, and because of the protein deficiency in the market and protein procurement from the consumers, lab grown meat is also is picking up. Again, the future will be the artificial intelligence and genomic integration for bulk testing, as well as to avoid contamination out of AI tools. It's going to be the future for our industry. With this, I will conclude my. These are the take-home messages. I'll just highlight one more thing, because livestock industry is a 9 lakh crore business, and biotechnology tools will improve to increase it further. And biotech graduates, they can take up a career in livestock industry. Either they can transform themselves as a livestock farmer or consultant role, or feed additive manufacturers. So these are the functional areas they can work on. They can work on breeding, vaccine, from diagnosis to nutrition development, and from government side also, from scientists to startup, a lot of programs are they are conducting. And again, your specific technical skills and soft skills and your ability to transform your creative ideas into a commercial business, that's going to be critical for your career growth. So again, the last point I would like to mention how VIT is helping students. The major difference is from 2006. I'd like to give one example from my end. Uh, VIT made me to get the right information through proper research papers. We were exposed to reading research papers and articles from the year 2005. That in 2005-2006 period, only IITs and some premier institutes have the facility to have access called science directory. So we got enough journals and information and other resources, lab resources, which which will make a huge difference in implementing the things and learning the project. So my take-home message is the market is big, 9 lakh crore industry, and it will be transformed to 20 lakh crore industry in another 10 years time. So the opportunities are there, and we have to explore. We have to explore the resources available, what is available, and all the opportunities available, and we have to work towards for this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Balaguru, for that very wholesome presentation, but you did overshoot your time limit.
Sorry.
We now move on to our last speaker, Mr. Anand K. Jaddi, General Manager and Plant Head, ICML Medak ITC Limited. Mr. Anand is a mechanical engineer and a hardcore problem solver by passion and profession. In his current position at ICML Medak ITC Limited, he leads large-scale manufacturing operations, industrial innovation, and technology-driven transformation. With a strong belief that engineering is a mindset for problem solving, Mr. Anand focuses on unlocking human potential and leveraging technology to address real-world industrial challenges. Over his career, he has played a pivotal role in strengthening industry-academia collaboration and building future-ready capabilities in FMCG segment, especially the food. Mr. Anand serves as the Industry Connect lead for CII Telangana and is a core member of the International Society of Automation Bangalore chapter, representing the Industry Connect vertical. He has actively mentored 4 emerging startups in the FMCG machine manufacturing domain and holds 5 patent applications in collaboration with ITC. He has been instrumental in setting up 8 new factories, commissioning 12 new production lines, and developing over 20 innovative solutions in the biscuits industry and more than 5 in chips manufacturing, many of which were first of their kind globally. Through his work, Mr. Anand continues to bridge the gap between academic research and industrial execution, inspiring engineers to move beyond conventional roles and become creators of the future. He will now speak on role of biotechnology in evolution of industry and opportunities for students. Welcome, Mr. Anand.
A very good afternoon to all of you, and thanks a lot, ma'am, for that kind introduction. Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the Hindu and the VIT Chennai for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and share some of my learnings in the past decade in terms of how students can benefit by being ahead of time in terms of thinking what streams they should choose and why they should choose, mainly coming from the industrial evolutions that are happening, which are powered by the technological revolutions and hence the future job opportunities, which can give them a good spotting in terms of picking up the domains and also getting those career path. So that would be my entire presentation about. So I would be covering my entire presentation in terms of 4 different questions. Question number 1 being what is happening in biotechnology as an industry and what are the industries getting affected, followed by what is the role of Industry 5.0 in this entire journey, in which I'll also be covering what are the key domains which are evolving in food processing as an industry powered by biotechnology. And then we'll be getting into the key companies who are leveraging this opportunity and then creating some services, products for the customers. followed by the key areas where students can get into and then learn those things by being part of the academia, where institutes like VIT Chennai are offering those courses, learn and then be part of that change and get the benefit out of it. To head start, if you look at overall biotech as an industry, this industry is almost evolving at a rate of 13% CAGR at a national level, at an international level. Out of which, if you look at India as a domain, the Indian market is almost growing by 4x within a span of next 1 decade, which means Indian growth rate is much higher than the international growth rate. And hence, being part of biotech industry in India is going to give that accelerated growth to all the partners or the students or the industries who are going to be participating and then steering this entire movement. Followed by the look at, if you look at the revolutions or the evolutions that are happening in this industry from 1970s to 2020s. Initially, it was more of understanding the subject matter, getting into more depth of it, and understanding the elements that move the biotechnology as an industry to an area where the majority of the revolutions are happening, where you're trying to probe a molecule to a level where its functionalities are being controlled. And hence, the AI is pitching in, and the Industry 4.5.0 levers are pitching in, where you can control the outcome of a molecule through biogenome modifications or through controlled engineering in biotechnology, which can give the desired results. To this evolution, whatever the path that industry is taking, it is mainly fueled by human brain, nothing else. And hence, the most benefited or the most outcome will be on the human life and also on the opportunities that are coming in biotechnology as a domain. In this one, I'll be mainly covering on three different industries. One is the food industry, the agri industry, and then overall waste management industry, where how the biotechnology is impacting their way of working and the business outcomes will be covered. Moving on to the next slide, if I.
But please keep the time factor also in mind, Mr. Anand.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So these are the key domains in which the industrial revolutions are happening. I would like to take some examples in every domain and then try to explain around in a short time possible. Genomics and the precision nutrition. If you look into this particular area, the nutrition value of any human being is degrading because of the availability of foods. And hence, food companies like ITC or Nestle are coming up with different food products where the overall requirement of a nutritional value of a human food which he consumes is being managed by developing different products, having all these nutritional values in the daily meal that they're going to consume. So this is one area which is leading to a lot of product development, and the R&D of food businesses are being powered by this particular domain. The second one is about food data and the bioinformatics, where the areas like fermentation data scientist is the big areas which are turning around the type of food that we're going to manufacture, or the taste that can come as an outcome of the food is being controlled in this particular domain. The third area is where functional foods and nutraceuticals. In this one, I try to touch base only on the area which is impacted, which is being governed by the food as a segment, where people are trying to fortify the food elements. For an example, salt can also give a nutritional value of iron. So if a person has to consume 5 grams of salt, it can also be clubbed with certain re-engineering through biotechnology, where the iron content can be added in the routine consumed salt, and hence it can give an overall nutritional value to the overall food that we prepare, and which is basically called as fortification of food, wherein you add nutritional elements to the basic food that you're going to consume. The next area, which will be around synthetic biology, where it doesn't mean the products are synthetically sourced. It's mainly sourced from natural available resources, wherein the products are being synthetically prepared. For an example, you can talk about the ingredients which are helping in forming different type of fats, wherein I'm trying to move away from the fatty acids which are creating health related issues in diabetic kind of difficulties that humanity is facing, where people are trying to come up with oil which is having less fatty acids and which is more healthy in terms of consumption. The next one is on the gene editing in agriculture, where if I take an example of compressed biogas generation in energy industry, the crop that we are using there is a crop called as elephant grass, which is basically engineered through the gene editing, in which the output of the crops is getting multiplied by 3x and 4x, where per acre output is going to 200 tons per year, from almost around 150 to 125 tons per year, wherein the production per acre is increasing, and hence it's increasing the generation of the grasses from available land, and it is reducing the cost of raw material available for the production of compressed biogas. Similarly, there are 5 more domains which are listed on the bottom. If I had to just summarize it, it is mainly coming down to what an industry wants from the available resources, how the biotechnology can be used to increase the production of those resources from the limited infrastructure that you have, and convert them into more productive value added ingredients from a customer point of view, and then offer it in a right way. So these are the 3 areas, which is basically the sourcing, the processing part, and in what way you're offering it to the customer. In all these 3 areas, all these 10 sectors are playing a vital role, and it is creating more than 200 lakhs of jobs by 2030. In terms of the impact of Industry 5.0 onto this biotechnology industry, if I have to cover, Industry 5.0 is not a leader, it's more of an enabler. So there are some levers which are getting unlocked, and these levers are helping a movement or the transition of certain elements in biotechnology in a much faster way. And it is happening because of the technology that is coming to the mainstream through Industry 5.0 as a door, in which, if you look at the collaborations that are happening between human and machines, in older days, there was no historian of data available. There was no predictive models available. Because now Industry 4.0 and 5.0 is coming in, people are building the librarian of all the knowledge that has been captured in the past through cloud computing, and then sourcing the storage of all this data in cloud, and then processing and coming out with different models, where majority of the part of experience which was held in the human brain is getting translated into a cloud infrastructure, where all the past experiences are converted into different models, and that are helping people to develop different models, or different biogenomes in a much faster rate than earlier days. So if you can put just a number, the rate at which the developments are happening today's time are almost 3x to 4x, and only those companies who are basically combining biotech, AI, and Industry 4.0 levers are able to leverage this and then give that kind of an output over there. In terms of the job opportunities in those companies who are using Industry 5.0 and biotech as one of their leading lever in terms of offering the right food products to the customer, the range of jobs change from 8 lakhs per annum to almost 60 lakhs per annum, which one of my colleague also talked about, my panelist. I would like to more talk about the skill stack that an individual has to develop, which is starting from the foundation to the technical knowledge that they have to build, powered by the new age tools that are coming in the market, and then getting into a leadership role. If you can focus on the top left corner, it talks about the stack pile, where you enter into a college like VIT, wherein you get all the foundations right. And these foundations are then coupled with industry partners like ITC or Nestle, where they try to make you understand how these foundational values are converted into customer offerings through the infrastructure that companies like ITC and or Nestle might have developed. And this, coupled with the new age technologies which are coming in Industry 5.0, which is AI, ML, and data analytics, gives you a unique strength to steer the way in which biotechnology is moving by conducting experiment and then doing R&D on different developments in this particular domain. And then you can become a lead of an entire vertical of R&D in order to steerhead the revolutions that are happening in food industry, because you have traveled through this path. So if I look at an overall 12 years journey, you can become a CTO for biotech vertical in big companies like this by traveling this path, wherein the entry point might be at a lower side, but when you grow along with these skills, it gives an immense opportunity for people, and a very unique opportunity, because all of this is on a foundation of biotechnology. If you don't know that, then steerheading those particular verticals will become challenging in upcoming days. For this, what a student has to do. So I've just tried to consolidate all of this into 7 mantras, which basically were: master your craft in your college days when you're being a part of a reputed institute like VIT, and then followed by keep on learning code as the second language along with whatever you're learning in your domain, and then build your networks where you get exposed to what's happening in industry, what's happening in the expert domain, and hence you get in touch with right people so that you can absorb the right knowledge at the right time. And then keep publishing papers and patents, where, as a combination of the first 3 skills that you've developed, you're able to understand where do you stand and how much your skill has enhanced. With all these 4 domains, you can then enter into a startup ecosystem where you can fuel a lot of revolutions that are happening in India and outside India, because there are too many startups coming in this particular domain in India. It will help. And then you can gradually move into a global role or an environment where with all the earlier 5 mantras that you have followed, you can get a huge financial jump on your income because you're going global over there. And all these 6 month the 6 mantras which I talked about has to be on a rotational journey. It cannot be static. As you see the changes that are happening, the rate at which industries are changing or the external environment is changing is almost 3 times or 4 times the earlier decades. And hence you have to keep connecting to your reality year on year and then keep demonstrating these first 6 mantras that you will be learning. The only way to be a future relevant for any students is to be there in that concentric domain where biology, data, and innovation comes together. So that's an intersection where you will become more relevant and you will be in high demand in terms of the careers which are available outside over there. These are the top 5 companies within India and the outside India who are basically leveraging biotech as a domain and then creating revolutionary products and meeting the customer requirements in food and FMCG domain. And these are the top 5 companies who are internationally available over there. If you look at the pay scale differentiations, it is mainly driven by the global exposure and the revenue incomes that these companies are gaining over there. So if you start in India and then get knowledge and then also get into an international service offering domains, the financial incomes will be multifolded over a period of time. And that can happen only when I talked about the skill stacks, which in the earlier slides. If you can grab all those skills and then go over there, and then only you will get that international exposure and then get to that particular level of exposure and then income ranges. These are the 3 big segments which I thought should be explaining on what students should focus on as an outcome of this entire just interaction that we had, is on the 3 pillars where all the companies are eyeing upon, which is how human-centric food manufacturing is changing, mainly driven by customer preferences, how the sustainable food system is changing, where all the materials that are being used for food packaging are driven by biotech and hence getting into a sustainable way of packing these food products. The third one is on the Industry 5.2 revolution, which is helping to build resilience to food supply chain by harvesting on the data that has been captured in the past and then predicting the possible threats and the possible failure modes and be ready for it. And hence also be ready for the future customer requirements which are coming in as a part of past historians or the changing trends of consumptions or the way in which a consumer is looking at a food on current days. The next part is on the backbones on which these industries thrive, where if you might have heard, the meat is getting replaced by plant-based protein right now, wherein people are becoming vegan and don't want to get into non-vegetarian food, and hence the entire domain is exploding over there. The fermentation is another area where people are using fermentation as a key area to increase the gas production per kg of fuel available in compressed biogas. So like this, there are many more examples in this. So these are the 6 big areas where you can look into, where industries are very keen and specific on getting further benefits using biotechnology as a tool. The skills that I already talked about, so you need to more focus on your basic skills coupled with the new age tools which are data science or the data analytic models which are coming in. As a combination of these two, if you have a perfect network in which you will come to know what are the upcoming opportunities in the industry, it will be a perfect spot for you to leverage this in transformation that is happening in industries powered by biotechnology and get those benefits back. So with this, I would like to wish all of you very best future and very best academics in your upcoming days. And I would like to wish all the students who are there to the best of luck for your outcomes of this exercise, whatever we did, and then take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anand, for that very detailed explainer. I mean, I could see your slides were packed with a lot of useful information for students, but then our time is also almost up. So maybe I'll take only a few questions, and it's there tons of questions. Everybody, as usual, is asking about the best career pathways. Dr. Jayaraman, if you could quickly just tell, like how will biotech look like in, say, a decade's time in the country, and what kind of impact will AI have on food and nutrition sector? Because I mean, whether we are reaching or we will reach the like, say, maybe what Japan or Europe looks like.
Yes, the skill sets that are required for students to be in the biotechnology industry, I think that has been detailed in all these presentations as well. And During my discussion, I said it is not just biotechnology which has to be used in these industries, but the other aspects like IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learning, because there is a lot of data that is already present. And we talk about not just human intervention, but then it's a data-driven process, all right? We have large amount of data. For example, we talk about food spoilage. Food spoilage, if we talk about, we know what are the different aspects which are related to food spoilage. So again, we did not reinvent the wheel in saying that go to the wet lab and then do it. But then with the available data, we can predict if this is the process which has to be adopted for the during the food processing techniques. Yes, the food can be can remain with the necessary nutrients and also with the storage capacity. So there are multiple things that we can talk about in food processing, and in all these we can use the artificial intelligence as well. One is we said at least retaining the nutrients, because in some of the food processing the nutrients availability, the nutrient quality is also reduced. So biotechnology process should ensure that the quality of the nutrients has to be maintained, if not enhanced. Of course, biotechnology can also intervene in enhancing the food quality in terms of the nutrients and availability, and also the digestibility of the food, because we are talking about the personalized food concept. So digestibility and absorption of the nutrients is different, because we talk about the gut microbiome, right? So when we talk about gut health of different individuals are different. So it is not just the food, but we also should talk about the related processes that are happening in the digestive system, so that we can talk about whether this particular food is applicable to this particular individual of a specific health. So with all this data, definitely yes, it is possible for the students to get into that. There is a lot of
Right.
opportunities.
Yeah, I think Dr. Chakravarti, you also mentioned about this 3D food bioprinting. So a similar question has been asked by a couple of people about the required nutrients for the consumer population, whether this bioprinting is fully assuring that. And also, I'll combine another question on this. People are also taking a lot of this mock meat. So whether all this lab grown or cultured meat is safe for consumption.
Yeah, taking up the first question that you are asking about, that actually related to the safety of that actually the meat.
Mm.
So
Actually, both are related. Yeah, both focus on safety.
yeah, coming to the safety aspect of it, actually, if you see that when the what we are consuming the meat currently, we don't know whether it is antibiotics free or not actually. Whereas actually the lab grown meat and all, it will be known what are the ingredients that are adding up, what are the from which cells that it has been taken up. That means the stem cell which have been taken from the animal, whether it is actually free from any kind of diseases. From that starting point itself, it is ensured actually. So when you are going to grow up into a particular meat, basically that it is going to have a cell is going to differentiated into the different kind of muscles, fibers, and then fat molecules, then joined together it is going to form the meat. So as far as the concern that it is, yes, it is maximum safe. But in terms of the sustainability aspect of it, that like for example here also we have to give some kind of energy input, and there also we have to give the energy input. But in terms of the sustainability aspect of it, actually we have to have a balance in compromising the things actually. So considering that fact, we don't need to spend so much of water, so much of actually the another other feeds and all. Considering the sustainability, considering that actually the safety of the thing from the beginning, I would say that one actually the meat would be, safer for the consumption.
And there are a lot of questions where people are asking how to become a food safety officer and how to join the institution where you are working. What are the qualifications required? If you could just quickly tell them about
Yeah,
Dr.
I have seen the questions related to that one. If I have completed the BTech in biotechnology, can I join into the
Yeah, there are
thing or not?
multiple about food safety officer. You could
Yeah.
just tell them how to, yeah.
Yeah, food safety officer, there are actually the syllabus from the FSSAI have been actually clearly mentioned actually. If you want to become a food safety officer, you should have any bachelor's degree plus the syllabus, whatever that they have prescribed, you have to prepare yourself for using those syllabus, and you have to write the examination when they are going to conduct it. And you have to actually, if you are shortlisted in that one, you will be called for an interview and all. Then after that, the followed by the training will be given. So then you can become the food safety officer. So basic degree you should have in any time, anything like biotechnology, chemistry, microbiology, biochemistry. So all these disciplines and all that. So there is a list of actually disciplines. Coming to the entering into the NIFTIM, there are some questions which have been asked. If you are a biotechnologist, can we enter into the NIFTIM food technology courses? It is bringing to the your many of your knowledge that NIFTIM Kundli is going to start a new course which is on after you complete your BTech, directly you can enroll for your PhD. So that is going to come up. So in which I am going to involve. So I am coordinating for the PhD admission in NIFTIM. So direct PhD BTech level from which you can directly write your RET examination, or nowadays you have the GATE examination after BTech. You can directly write the GATE for your PhD, and then you can enroll into the IITs, including NIFTIM also. I hope I have.
Similarly, a lot of high school students are also asking, who are interested in biology or studying biology, how easy will it be for them to get into VIT or similar institutions for programs in food technology or biotechnology for that matter, and also if somebody studying humanities, if they could join biotechnology, Dr. Jayaraman.
Yes, after 12th, yes, it is possible for students to enroll into biotechnology programs, even if they have mathematics or biology background. In fact, at VIT especially, we offer the bridge courses for mathematics as well as biology, which is essential. And the content of this biology, basic biology and basic mathematics is almost equivalent to what they study in 11th and 12th. So till 10th standard, definitely they will have all these subjects. Only in 11th and 12th, some students might opt for non-biology or non-mathematics. But after enrolling for the BTech program, VIT does support providing bridge courses in mathematics as well as in biology. So they can make it up, and their skill sets will be equal, or the basic knowledge for the biotechnology will be equal to all other students as well.
Mr. Anand, if you could just quickly talk about internships and what skills are usually missing from freshers, profiles, or while entering the food and nutrition sector, since you've been in the industry.
Yeah. So, see, in terms of internship opportunities, usually some companies provide it year long, and whether it's in summer or in late year ends, or like companies like ITC, we do give summer internship where they can go and apply it online, which are available. In terms of other opportunities, you can directly get in touch with CII. There is a student wing in CII, which basically connects all the students to the industries wherever they can get internship opportunities. So if you can just write a mail to CII, its students domain, they will give you opportunities in terms of which all the companies available in your region who offer internship. There is no need for also students to travel states to states. There are a lot of industries in their own state, in their own areas, where CII has a broader perspective about how many industries are there in that area and what do they offer. These are the two big domains. One is the company websites and the connects. Other one is CII, which basically connects students and industries over there. Coming to the second question, what skills do students need in the new age is majority of the times when we connect with students and interview them, the challenge that we face is the connect between what they learn and what industry is using their knowledge to convert those knowledge into solutions for the problems which are going on in industry. So there is a disconnect between whatever they're learning versus the industrial problems. If students can start connecting them, that let's say if they connect with the water processing industry, understand what are the challenges that water processing industry is facing or food processing industries are facing, connect them with their subject domain expertise, then they'll be able to bring in a lot of relevance towards what they have as a knowledge when they interact with industrial experts or when they attend their internships, interviews, or their job interviews. It's all about need. The companies have a need to solve the problem, and students have the need to get a job. The need meets where the problem comes to a solution. Solution is something which the experts or the students or the domain experts can give, and problems is something where industries are challenged with. So if students can come prepared for that, it's going to help them a lot in terms of cracking their interviews and taking it forward.
So, all of you in your presentations did mention about the job opportunities and even salary packages. Mr. Balaguru, I'm just combining a couple of questions for you. The last one, like for someone who doesn't know much about, say, food tech, so how does one find the job positions? And also somebody's asking which would be a better option, corporate or a government or a private agency? And also when someone is working in the R&D lab, what would be a typical day-to-day work entail? What will the typical day-to-day work entail? I'm sorry, I've just combined because we are run out of time.
Even private and even private and government job. Again, it depends on this the skills that they acquire. Even opportunities are available in banking sector also for assessment officers. Other than the food safety officer, for assessment, you need to have a biotechnology background students. A lot of opportunities are there in government organization as well as private. Again, it's a trade-off between how what's the package they are looking for. Again, they have to select on themselves. And to venture in terms of banking area also, a lot of opportunities available. And for a R&D person, again, they have to read a lot and they have to work on, they have to, as Mr. Anand said, they have to connect with what industry is required, what the consumer is looking for. They have to work on those lines rather than putting up a paper or something. So they have to connect with what industry demands. So that's ultimate for R&D person. They cannot do research all along, right? So it should have some commercial value also. So they have to work on the consumer needs, based understanding the consumer needs, aligning their research activity based on the consumer needs, will have a better output.
There are a couple of questions, Dr. Jairam. I think they're from all VIT alumni of Biotech Biotechnology who have mentioned that they're facing difficulties in getting interviews. So would you like to answer that quickly?
Yeah. See, just the degree doesn't, warranty any job perspective. So it depends on what special skill sets you have. You have to align yourself to a specific industry and the requirement of that industry. I think it was very well, discussed by Dr. Anand, saying that you have to challenge yourself and find out what special skill sets you have, whether you meet the requirement of the industry that you are looking at. So instead of looking at a border, even though we talk about the techniques being the same, molecular biology, genetic engineering, microbiology, everything is same. Those are the basics. But then different industries, different applications require a different perspective altogether. So whether you are meeting that particular demand of that industry, you need to focus to which industry you would like to go. Then you prepare yourself for that. That will solve the issue.
Thank you, and I really apologize due to paucity of time. I have to wrap up the discussion, which was truly very interesting and packed with information. And I'm sure that researchers, students, and aspiring professionals, whoever joined today's webinar, really got a detailed understanding of the career opportunities and emerging trends in biotechnology. I thank all the panelists and audience for giving your time today to today's webinar on biotech careers, food and nutrition, which was jointly presented by the Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai and the Hindu under a new initiative, Biotechnology Role in Industry 5.0 Sustainable Future Pathways. Thank you all once again.
Thanks, team. Thanks, panelists.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.